Pleasant good night to all my viewers and my subscribers. This is Jah-P Sports Talk. I hope everyone is keeping safe. So the Jamaica Reggae Boys, I must say, well done. Well done. The Unity Cup kickstart restarted today. It was out for a while now, and it was reunited today. And the Jamaica Reggae Boys played Trinidad and Tobago, and we defeated Trinidad and Tobago 3-2. Yes. It was a late penalty for us still, but at the end of the day, a win is a win, and we are very happy. The Jamaicans had scored first in the first half, and then the second half we scored, and then within about 2.5, 3 minutes, Trinidad scored back, and the game just got there hotter than hotter. Trust me, it was a high intense game. We expected that because it's a Caribbean flavor. Two hot nations. As a matter of fact, whether it be two hot nations or not, teams these days are playing very hard football. You understand me? No one wants to lose. You understand? So trust me, it was high tempo game. A few calls probably went the other way, a few yellow cards and so on. But we're happy that we didn't get to see any red cards. But nevertheless, the game had finished, and guess what? Jamaica. Jamaica ended up winning, which we are very happy. So the Jamaica Reggae Boys has now advanced to the final, where they will play either Nigeria or Ghana on Saturday. So look out for that one. Yes. So tomorrow now is the other match where Ghana and Nigeria will play. So you see how they kind of do this Unity Cup. They do it a Caribbean versus Caribbean, then African versus African. You understand me? So it's an African Caribbean type of flavor, And these matches are played in England, and in England you have a large contingent of Jamaicans, you understand me, and Caribbean people overall. So trust me, it was a nice atmosphere based on what I'm seeing there. I was at work and struggling to watch the match, but I ended up seeing a few highlights and so on. But trust me, I just love the fact that a lot of persons came out to support the Reggae Boys, and then the Reggae Boys end up winning at the end. Richard King, he's the king of the moment. Trust me, that penalty kick was a make or break moment, So he delivered that penalty kick and gave us the win, which we definitely wanted. We didn't want this to go to any penalty. You understand me? I'm not sure in this type of cup if it is that it would normally go to extra time or it would have been the straight penalty. But we're happy that it didn't went either way. You understand me? We're happy that it didn't went either way. So now we look forward for Saturday. The guys have a few days to rest, and then after this now we can just go forward. So whether it be Nigeria or Ghana we get to play, we just build our mentality and say, listen, we can do it. It would be trust me, it would be like a World Cup to me if Jamaica was to win this cup. Trust me, it would be like a World Cup to me. So we just have to just pray for the guys, hope that they get some well-needed rest, and then, look forward for that match on Saturday. They are the better team out of this right now, Trinidad is also on a good space, because Trinidad have a few days off. Right, so they have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday. So the third playoffs, Trinidad will play the third place with either Ghana or Nigeria. So we really look forward for those two clashes on the weekend. And this squad, it was a mixture of the Premier League players and a few regular players and so on. So it wasn't all of the regular squad that we normally used to. But in the end, I really love the fact that some of the coach gave some of these players exposure. Some of the players is pretty much their first tour, some of them their first game or second game. So I'm really happy that coach is giving these players exposure. So, it's up to them to really deliver and make the coach proud and said, listen, next time we're going somewhere, I can always add you on my team, So trust me, I really love the fact that Coach Steve McLaren is doing some work. He's not one of those coaches where you can say that he's pretty much one-sided. He's not one-sided at all. You know, so I definitely have to just give him thumbs up in that regards. You know, so we look forward for that. And then further down, you know, the 7th next week Saturday, the Reggae Boys will head to the British Virgin Islands, where they will play BVI in the World Cup qualifiers, right? So I guess after this Unity Cup, depending on the squad, I suspect that some of these players may just fly in this weekend, you know, or maybe they fly in early next week, Monday, Tuesday, somewhere out there. I'm not sure how is it that they're going to plan out their things, but you know, would love for the guys to, you know, have a few days in the Highland, you know, getting used to the, well, not much is the Caribbean condition, so it's not really much in terms of getting used to the condition, but you know, getting a little feel of the feel, you know, the bunks and stuff like that, and have an idea of how to, you know, anticipate certain bunks and the feel and so we anticipate to see if they will arrive this weekend or early next week. You know, the match is on next Saturday, so by the latest Monday, Tuesday, we're expecting the Reggae Boys to be in BVI. You know, no later than that. It could be earlier, but I'm just saying no later than Monday, Tuesday, they should be on the island. You know, but sometimes I don't know the JFF plan out things and so on, or if it is a FIFA rule where you have to be on the island maybe 2-3 days before match time or stuff. I'm not sure how it goes, but after this match, this Unity Cup, we suspect that some of these players will split up. Some of them maybe go back to Jamaica, or so maybe everyone will go back to Jamaica, or who is in England stay in England, and then now that one ship now leave from Jamaica to the BVI. So we anticipate to see how things unfolds. And then, guess what? Stadium, National Stadium in Kingston, look out for the Reggae Boys versus Guatemala on June 10th. Alright? So get your tickets from early. The Reggae Boys will be at the National Stadium. Alright? So in the World Cup qualifier. So look out for that one also. So, my viewers and subscribers, you know, I just want to thank you all for subscribing, like, share, and comment. You know, we just want to just wish the Reggae Boys all the best for the final on Saturday. You know, so we know they're having a joy moment tonight. You know, we saw the likes of Popcorn, you know, went over and give the guys some support. You know, so that's a joy to know that, you know, we have some of our dancehall artists that are in England that we could pass over and, you know, show a little love and respect to the boys. You know, so my viewers and subscribers, until next time, this is Jah-P Sports Talk. I just want to thank you all for subscribing, like, share, and comment. And I wish you guys all the best for the remainder of the night and the remainder of the week. So keep safe and stay tuned for weekend Saturday. Saturday is a big day, you know. It's a Champions League final too, you know. So keep safe until next time.